best way to not upset a woman is don't tell her anything you think will upset her. Just don't tell her. But then you get accused of lying and concealing. And so you can't trust men to tell the truth because you guys are smarter than women think you are. A woman is like, tell me the truth. And then you tell them a truth and they don't like that truth. And they get really upset about that truth. And as a woman, because we're motivated to not upset people, they actually think that if you know how upset I am about what's true for you, you will change what's true for you.
Okay, so fellas, one thing that I'm very, very good at is communicating to you guys the paradoxical and counterintuitive nature of the woman. And one thing that I've been trying to communicate to you guys recently is the woman's relationship with the truth. I've told you guys that the woman has a different psychology from the man. She doesn't have a male psychology, she has a female psychology. And she actually has the opposite relationship with truth-telling and lie-telling. The way the woman's social network is set up and so how she communicates and operates with other women, she is actually rewarded for lying to other women and she's punished for telling the truth. This is something very, very different to the man's psychology and the man's social networks, where we are rewarded for telling the truth and we are punished for telling a lie. In a previous video, I told you guys, when a woman is in my bad books, I tell her the truth. And when a woman is in my good books, I tell her a lie. The truth dysregulates the woman and a lie regulates the woman. So if you want to punish her, tell her the truth. And if you want to regulate and reward her, tell her a lie. The truth is a whip you use to get her in line. And sometimes you need to do this. More times than not, you have to do this. But a lie is a snack. It's a treat you reward for her good behavior. I don't know what else to tell you guys that refuse to understand what I'm saying. Do you actually understand how much more easier your life would be? How much more convenient your life would be? And how much more head sessions you shall receive with passion if you simply make this small tweak when dealing with women? Stop taking yourself so seriously.
I really think that. But you guys are smarter than that.
As a man, you need to learn how to treat the different people you come into contact with. And a woman is no different. When you're dealing with a man, there is a certain way you behave and you act. It is masculine to know how to speak to the ego of other individuals. But when you're dealing with women, children, and the elderly, there is a different way you act.
Because it's been true for you for a long time. And there were no problems until you told her.
Yeah, easy correlation. I told you, now there's a problem.
Now there's a problem. There was no problem before I was out loud about it. There's no problem at all. And really, honest men just stop telling the truth because it's not worth it.
The men who suffer with women and get no play. And honestly, fellas, I don't want to hear from you guys. Cannot help but be super direct and super truthful with women, to the woman. They say, this is who I am. Or they say, I'm just a masculine man. But it's not masculine to me if it's dumb. They have made a virtue out of a necessity. Because the truth is, they lack self-control, they are compulsive, and they have a character flaw. You know, like how the people who can't help but be brutally honest, and they say it like it's a virtue, but really and truly, they are just very judgmental, highly dysregulated, and kind of spiteful, resentful individuals. Or conspiracy theorists who might actually be onto something, but they are also obviously mentally ill. Or social justice warriors and fellas in politics who make their truth the objective truth and make everything about the thing that they are fighting for. Everything, every conversation is turned into politics. When in truth, they're just very narcissistic and a bit miserable. Every conversation, you want to put it back to politics or your social justice movement? Like, brother, shut the fuck up. Religious people who Bible bash you 24/7, knock on your door. You can't escape these, Don. I'm gonna knock on your door to give you some truth. All these people are incredibly dysregulated, compulsive truth tellers who refuse to work on their compulsions. They lack discipline, they lack self-control, and they have character flaws. It's venting, fellas. This is how you vent. You're just venting, just like a woman, just like a dysregulated woman, just like your grandmom, just like your mum. I want to share and overshare how I feel. That's all you're doing. It's not a value.
You know the truth doesn't mean that you should say it, and people should have to earn the truth from you. That doesn't mean lie, but people have to earn the full truth. What do I mean by that? When you're first talking to somebody, if they haven't earned your trust, here's how you should talk. You the man, you the woman. Sounds awesome, crazy, amazing. That sounds fun. If they start to go into victim thinking, you say, sounds like that's a very frustrating feeling. Do not tell them that they have victim consciousness. Now, this is tough because if you're somebody who's intelligent, you can look at somebody, see their limiting beliefs, self-justifications, rationalizations, place they're limiting themselves, all the bullshit in their mind that's going to ruin their lives. And you're going to understand their psychology. You're going to be able to see right through them. You're going to want to tell them. It's very, very tempting to tell them. But the problem is that if you do, that can cause them to explode. Look, if you study spirituality, one awareness that you may have is that there is a parasitic consciousness that sort of suffocates the base level consciousness that people want to maintain in order to stay asleep. So if that advice that you would give would wake them up, they're going to freak out and they're going to attack you. We see this in the Bible. They say, do not cast your pearls before swine. And likewise, we see that Jesus gets crucified just for telling the truth. So Jesus will tell you, do not cast your pearls before a swine or you get trampled underfoot. Basically what you do is you keep things light, and then as people earn your trust or even pay to maybe get advice from you, then you give them the accurate truth. But up until then, social calibration. You don't need to spend your entire life getting crucified. Have fun with people. Know what you want to get out of an interaction. Have fun with people. That's the best way to go about it.
A lot of you guys struggle with women and people in general because you don't have anything to offer. And you don't have anything to offer because you give everything away for free. You give everything away for free because you don't value the things you have. And you don't value the things you have because you don't see any value in them, which in turn means you don't see any value in you. This is common with men who have been successfully conditioned to interact with the world, and particularly women, from a disempowered and submissive place. These men come into the world quickly neutered and conditioned to assume a lower rank to women and many other people in society. The nonconformist is so appealing to women and people in general because his validation, acceptance, and approval is of way more worth and value to others than the validation, acceptance, and approval of the conformist. The nonconformist makes people earn things from him, whilst the conformist does not make people earn things from him. One man can make people feel really good through his own reward systems, and the other man has no reward system to make people feel good. He has already assumed the lower rank. The conformist man has been enrolled onto the abuse and control mechanisms of his family, his mother, his sisters, his dad, his culture, his school, his work, his bosses. So he has been taught that not only are the things he has not valuable, but it is demanded that he gives these things, including himself, away for free. He believes the only way he can access a woman is to take her out on a date, not understanding that he is sacrificing his free time to do something he probably doesn't even want to do. He doesn't understand that he can simply go to her house and she can simply go to his house, something he does not have the God-given audacity to execute with chest. He has been conditioned into giving his full attention and his eye contact over to everybody and anybody, even though male mammals typically only do this to people who earn his trust, intimacy, and respect. He goes against his own spirit and he betrays himself. Another thing, he cannot give to another person. He has no idea how far a woman will go to simply earn his gaze. He gives it away for free. He has been conditioned to think that he is supposed to perform for the woman and that the women are not supposed to perform for him, without understanding that the woman is way more jester than he can ever be. And the woman cannot wait to jester max for the right type of man, for the non-conformist man. He has also been conditioned to think that the only way he can make money is to make a bum-licking CV and bum-lick people into giving him a wage. This is no slight on the working man, fellas, by the way. I know that it's not always a conformist thing, but for most, it is, and I'm sure you can agree. These things and a lot more things I have not mentioned condition him to pedestalize the woman and others, which in turn makes him act very submissive to the woman and others, which in turn activates hypergamy with the woman in all the worst ways. He has no ability to activate hypergamy in the woman in any of the good ways because it's been conditioned and indoctrinated out of him. It has been disempowered out of him. So now he is blind to these things. This is why the majority of men cannot win over the types of women they actually want and are actually very attracted to. Because of this, he does not see these women as equals. He sees himself as inferior to them. All of these things eventually create resentment in that man, frustration in that man, a feeling of powerlessness in that man. And because he does not build true confidence, he replaces this with a false sense of superiority and a habit of judging others to cope with his own feelings of powerlessness. This is a curse. Now, fellas, I want you to listen very, very closely. When you have the habit of judging others, these judgments eventually turn inwards and creates the habit of judging yourself. This is what I call the curse of powerlessness. You will have the habit of pathologically ranking yourself in comparison to other people. And because of the false sense of superiority you have had to generate because you lack the vitality of confidence, you will often place yourself higher than most in order to regulate yourself and feel like you are doing better than most. But this habit and addiction to feeling and telling yourself you are superior to others acts as a double-edged sword. Because eventually, because of all this categorizing and ranking of yourself and others, you will come into contact with people who, by your own standards, definitions, and judgments, you will come face to face with people you believe are categorically better than you, superior to you, of higher rank than you. A judgment system and ranking system that does not actually exist in reality, but it definitely exists in your mind. And when you come face to face with these people, your nervous system will be triggered and you will have a powerful desire to fawn, freeze, fight, or flight in the face of all this superiority. You will have this experience with the woman and the men you believe to be superior to you. The types of women you really, really like, you would have convinced yourself that these women are actually reserved for the types of men you believe are superior to you. This will put you into a submissive state where all of your judgments and rankings come round to confirm your lower rank and lower value. This is why I always tell you guys that the regulated man who feels good about himself does not see himself as superior or inferior to others. He sees himself as an equal to others. Fellas, what you have to understand, that your judgments and rankings are fantasy, are cope. Because there is no way that you are able to put the entirety of who you are next to the entirety of another person. What metric are you using to judge yourself and judge the other person? It is a fantasy. Most men do not even understand or know the full entirety of who they are. So how on earth can you know or understand the full entirety of another person? You are wasting your time. You are living a lie. There is no way for you to judge and rank who you are in comparison to other people. It is a sickness of the mind. You are ill and you are sick. And this sickness is specifically what is making you feel inferior to the types of women you are attracted to. You are so used to judging and ranking others, judging and ranking yourself, examining others, examining yourself. So when you come face to face with somebody that you actually see a lot of value in, your mind is only used to seeing yourself as superior or inferior to others. So when you come face to face with a lot of value in the woman, you freeze and you fawn. When you come face to face with a lot of value in a man, you freeze and you fawn. Fellas, I'll go as far as saying, if you guys do not cure yourself of this sickness, you will end up being very gay. you will end up being gay. This is the reason why looks maxers turn gay. They spend all of their time ranking themselves into comparison with other men. They lead with their looks. They believe there is nothing more valuable on this earth than their looks. So when they come face to face with a man who matches all of their favorable judgments, they will descend into a submissive state. They will literally freeze and fawn over this man. And if you freeze and fawn over a man because of his looks, brother, you're a drink away from doing some gay shit. All right? Listen, if you freeze and fawn over Mike Tyson in his prime, all right, I'll give you a pass. If you freeze and fawn over John Jones in his prime, I'll give you a pass. If you freeze and fawn over Michael Jackson in his prime, I'll give you a pass. Right? The first two represents amazing character, amazing strength, amazing courage, all of the things the masculine man loves. Michael Jackson represents a level of originality and ability to move and get you out of your seat. All right? You men are freezing and fawning over a man's Campbell nose tilt. Bunch of... And every man knows this. Every guy who's good looking, every guy who's tall, every guy who's really successful with women, you will experience so much gay shit from other men because the other men see you as superior to them. Because, I don't know, you have access to the women that they want, or you look like how they want to look. These guys are freezing and fawning. Listen, the amount of gay shit I've experienced growing up is a joke. Is a joke. When the women come and tell me that most men are gay, I completely believe them because most men are gay. Most men are DL. They are. You fellas who know what I'm talking about, pull it in the comments. Men freeze and fawn over you all of the time. If you are who they would like to be, or they see you as superior to them, they start being gay. Start looking at you with twinkly eyes. Smiling like a woman. Their voice has gone high pitch. Huh? That's what I'm saying. You guys don't even understand this. So I'm trying to say you got to be careful. Honestly, this video is about how your judgments will eventually make you gay. The man who is regulated and feels good about himself has an internal flame. He provides himself with validation, approval, acceptance, and understanding. His flame is inwards and is projected outwardly. He has vitality, grandiosity, competence. He has reference points and experience points of slaying dragons. His confidence is true. He doesn't need to externalize his sense of worth. So he judges himself. He evaluates himself. Only himself, his higher self, and God has the power to evaluate him. The only thing that he feels inferior to is his God that he serves, his God that he's submissive to. But you guys are sick. You have an illness. There are many, many people you feel inferior to. Many, many people of the flesh, many other human beings, women and men you feel inferior to because you rely so much on feeling superior to others. But judging by your own metrics, your own judgments, your own evaluation system, which is created in fantasy, lies, delusion, and cope, you will come face to face with people by your own metrics are superior to you. This is your curse and this will be your fate. And the only way you can ever stop this cycle, this addiction, is if you stop judging others. Yeah, so fellas, I'm going to wrap the video up here. Please understand what I'm saying. If you've not done the work, if you have not figured out how to regulate yourself hormonally, emotionally, physiologically, psychologically, if you've not been vulnerable with yourself and participated in the world to the right standard so that you can develop the right perspectives in life, then what's going to happen is when you are face to face with what you perceive to be supreme value, you will just be triggered and you'll be sent into your sympathetic nervous system. You'll be sent into a fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, and there's nothing you can do. The value is triggering you. It's exciting you. It's arousing you. It's probably putting fear into you. Right? A sense of inferiority. You know, what you're going to do is you're going to be submissive and try to appease this and try to perform and fawn, maybe freeze. You're going to just be ugly. You're going to be compulsively pathetic, saying all the wrong things, doing all the wrong things. You're going to be talking to this person that you see supreme value in, and as you're speaking, a piece of bogey is going to fly out your nose. right? As you're speaking, some froth is going to fly out your mouth. You see what I'm trying to say? Right? Because you're going to have some issues. You're not going to be able to act correctly. Or you're going to go the other way, or the ego is going to get defensive and it's going to inject this false sense of superiority in you, right? To cope with this value that's standing before you. And you're going to act very obnoxious, very arrogant and weird. You're going to be mean and rude for no reason. And I told you, intelligent people know that, yeah, you just fancy me, innit? That's why you're acting like this. But you're a sick and disturbing person, so you're being a prick about it. You know, how pathetic, or a loser. Go and do some work on yourself. You see what I'm trying to say? All right? So you got to figure yourself out, or you're never going to be able to get an 8, 9, or a 10. 8, 9s, and 10s are reserved for people who've done the work. The vast majority of women on this earth cannot win over the types of men that they're attracted to as well. It just goes both ways. Both men and women really do not win over the types of men and women they're attracted to. They just don't. Maybe really attractive women are able to sleep with really, the men that they think are 8, 9s, and 10s, but they're not settling down with these guys. No, everyone settles. Men typically sleep with women they're not that attracted to. Women typically settle down with men that they don't value much, actually. Easy to exploit men with a lot of value. All right, so if you want to be a guy and you want to be able to win over an 8, 9, and 10, you've got to do work. There's no performance that you can do. There's no performance. You can't perform your way into doing it. You might be able to sleep with one every now and again, but you won't be able to keep him around. You won't be able to keep him around because you're not acting right. You're all over the place. Like, what will happen, right? And the reason why these compulsions happen, it comes out of you, right? You know, you'll be saying all the wrong things and doing all the wrong things. You can see yourself saying and doing all of the wrong things, but you can't stop yourself. You can't stop yourself. You can't stop yourself. And fellas, I know this. I told you in a previous video, innit? I had to get over this. I realized every time that I was, not every time, but every now and again, when I was pulling a serious 8, 9, or a 10, I say 8, 9, and 10 because it's subjective, right? You know, and what's a 10, really? You know, it's subjective. But every single time I was sleeping with exactly the types of cheeks I would like to sleep with. I'm a body guy, right? So every time that I was having some serious sessions with everything, I was in a state of heaven and bliss, right? And sometimes I'll just finish bussing. Sometimes I'll be so complimentary, you know? Like, I wouldn't be able to stop myself from being like, wow, this was the greatest I've ever received in my entire life. You are the best. Oh my God. The bum, it was slapping, it was juicing. Sometimes I can't actually stop. I'll go on this whole monologue about how this was the best ever. And I had to figure this thing out because I can see after the first compliment. So I'm trying to say, I can see the woman that I've just smashed out being like, all right, relax now. And I wouldn't be able to stop myself. I was too excited. I was too aroused. Right? So you have to do the work. You got to do the work. Right? You have to have the self-control and the discipline. All right? And there's a lot of inner work to do. You need to sort your nervous system and your ego out. I keep talking about this, guys. Your nervous system and your ego, there's nothing more important. You sort your nervous system and your ego out, you'll be able to do whatever you want to do with 8, 9s, and 10s. They become quite easy to you because they're not used to men being so smooth, so seductive, so calm and composed. They're not used to men being able to be around them in their parasympathetic nervous system, right? That relaxed state where the vagal tone is regulated. They're not used to men being calm, smooth, and seductive around them. That's how, sort of, in a funny way, the 8, 9s, and 10s become quite easy if you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, it'll be easy for you to deal with these women and make these women like you. All right? I'm going to do a video as well soon talking about the differences between normal women and 8, 9s, and 10s. Because it's completely different. Everything is different. How you attract them is different, and how you maintain them is different. The types of things 8, 9s, and 10s are attracted to and aroused by, it's different to the types of things other women are attracted to. It's quite different. You know, a lot of guys struggle with 8, 9s, and 10s. I'm telling you, fellas, right? Cold approaching and pickup artistry doesn't really work on 8, 9s, and 10s. It doesn't really work with 8, 9s, and 10s. You've got to get 8, 9s, and 10s in other ways. But anyway, love you guys. I'm going to get back to all of you as well. Thank you so much for the love and the support. I know a couple of you dons have gave me some nice donations. I haven't really been able to look at everything, you know, so I'm going to get back and say my thank yous and do my stuff, right? I love you guys so much. I've been so busy. I'm just trying to learn how to organize myself. The demand has drastically increased, so I'm still figuring out how to organize myself and sort myself out and stuff, you know, so give me some time as I level up. See you guys in the next one.